Hello, everybody. I'm Andy Lagopus, and with me is
Pink Star, nice to meet you.
great to have you on, and welcome to drumroll, please. It's called a podcast, sweetheart. That the
Where?
name we're going for? I think that's the name we decided on. Yeah.
Yep, it's a pretty nice callback for the movie.
Yeah. All right. So, welcome to the first episode of It's Called a Podcast, Sweetheart, where my word is as good as yours. Wait, no, that's not the quote. Where it's my word against yours. Yeah. Let's
Exactly.
keep that in.
Sure.
So, this is ZNN's newest podcast. It's the newest sort of production we're doing here. And yeah, it is made entirely possible thanks to the support of our Patreon, patreon.com/ZNN. Go support there if you haven't already. The more we get there, the more we'll be able to do stuff like this. This episode should theoretically be coming out right around the time of the 8th anniversary of Zootopia.
Time goes very fast. I can't believe it. 8 years already.
Oh, I know, right? Where has time gone? I started this when I was 22, now I'm in my 30s. Ugh.
Oh well, let me see. The movie was released in 2016. I was barely 21, 20 at the time. No, 20. Yeah, I was 20 years old, and right
Mhm.
now I'm 28. Oh my god.
We're getting old. Ugh. The inevitable march of time.
Oh
So,
yo.
but we've managed to make it so long that we've got news of the sequel's release date.
Finally, after such a long time that we don't really have any idea was there going to be a second part of the movie, but
I know.
finally, so far it's confirmed for next year.
Yep, November 25th, 2025. I cannot wait.
I
Though,
think many of us can't wait.
oh yeah. Though, if I am being completely honest, I am hoping that they take all the time that they need to get it right, you know? Because with the original movie, they ended up having to go back with about like 10 months left before the release, after the first trailer had come out, and completely redo the entire movie. So
Yeah,
that extended the time of release unto March. It
yeah,
was originally supposed to be in November of 2015.
yeah. Because the idea for Disney is to release one movie per year, along with Pixar Studio. And in 2015, no movie was released.
And
And
then in
2016,
2016,
we had two movies. We had Zootopia on March, and then we had Moana in November.
exactly. So if something like that were to happen again, I'm not saying I want it to happen, but if it did, imagine it being released on the 10th anniversary. It'd
Hmm.
be kind of cool. Not that I want it to be any longer, you know?
Yeah,
Not that
me
I
neither.
like I'm so excited for the November release date.
Yeah, finally we have news because lately it has. I don't know if it's just my perspective, but it seems like the fandom has been slowing down these last years.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've only had one movie's worth of content to go off of.
Yeah, but like I said, that for at least the first 5 years of the fandom, I think it was pretty strong. Like you said, just one movie, but still the fandom was pretty strong. And I think the last 2 years it has been slowing down a bit. I think it's all coming back now ever since it was confirmed that we're going to have a sequel.
Yeah, for sure. Or I mean, I can't blame it for going into hibernation mode, you know?
So, well, for now, we just have to wait and make the fandom expecting it also again. Because it seems like a lot of the fandom has also been not that much present anymore, or at least the first big generation of fandom content and everything have been already so not contributing anymore. So it will also be very
Yeah, a
big
lot
if
of
they will
people have
come back.
kind of moved on. Yeah. But we've stuck around this whole time, and we're here today to kind of turn the clock back a bit, you know?
Yeah.
So, the topic for today, ladies and gentlemen, is our personal favorite stuff from the early days of the fandom. So that you newcomers who are just joining the fandom after all these years, or in anticipation of the sequel, can have a bit of context for some of the history that's come before.
This will be very
So,
interesting.
yeah. So, as this is our first ever podcast of this first ever episode of this podcast, I think it's a good idea for you to kind of get a feeling of who your hosts are and what we like. So, the topic for today is our favorite things. These are a few of my favorite things. Do 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 do.
Insert background music.
Yeah, I love the sound of music. Absolutely classic. Anyway, we're going to be sharing our favorite fanfics, our favorite comics, and our favorite pieces of art that have been created by the fans over the past 8 years. Sort of a celebration of how far everything has come since then, you know?
Yeah. I have many things, like, I'm pretty sure that I will mention just one or two things, but as I try to go back into my memory, many things are going to be, I'm going to recall so much stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, okay, it is a very hard job to just pick one thing out of the entire 8 years of this fandom. So that's kind of what this whole podcast is about. We're going to be exploring the fan creations one episode at a time. So this episode is going to be about you getting to know us, the hosts, and then and the next few episodes are going to be us getting to know you, the fans. So we'll be going through various pieces of Zootopia fan media, taking a bit of a deep dive into our, well, shared history. Like, we'll be having people on to discuss fan fiction tropes, comics, and we're even considering doing a book club. So,
It's pretty neat.
yeah. Uh, though we haven't quite decided what we're going to do for that. So, if you have any suggestions, please leave them down in the comments. We'd really appreciate it, and we will be reading every single comment. At least I will be. I can't speak for anyone else on the team, but I'll be reading all the comments.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to knowing what you guys think.
Yeah, and keep in mind we're trying to shed some light on stuff that may be a bit less popular. So stuff that might be newer, stuff that might have like flown under the radar or just not quite gotten all the love that it truly deserves, you know? So if you know of anything that fits that criteria, just go ahead and leave it in the comments, all right? So, do you want to take this first with the fanfics?
Okay, sure. I will say that one fanfic I really like, and that I personally think that it really didn't get much attention as other works, is one it's called Thicker Than Blood.
Oh, Thicker Than Blood. I
Yeah,
actually haven't heard of that one. Do tell me more.
yeah, it's a fanfic that it takes off from the where the movie ended, basically. Not exactly at the
Mhm.
movie ended. A bit before Nick ended up become being a cop. More like after the whole Night Howler case was solved. We can say that it started from there, and it takes up a little bit of the time where Nick was at the Zootopia Police Academy. And from there, when he graduated, Judy's speech and everything, and it's more of a it's if we personally I think it's like a written version of a Zootopia series where Judy and Nick are continuing their adventure as cops in Zootopia.
Cool.
And
All right.
well, you are seeing the drawing, right?
Yes, I see it.
Yeah, like there are little nods to the story. Like there's a reason why Nick has poker cards on his paw, and well, we know Judy with her classic carrot pen. In this
Of course.
story, the pen takes a very very important role. But you have to read it to find out that it's not only just used as, well, it's still technically used as a device to throw their enemies off, but it
Okay.
also is used to help them solve another kind of serious problem or issue they have whenever they're solving a case. So yeah, and you need to read the story to find out, and it's very interesting because we see them how their relationship is being more developed and more loving moments between them.
Okay. Okay. I think there are quite a few stories that do that, where it picks up right at the end of the movie and like sort of the story continues type of deal. That's kind
Yeah,
of the whole like genre within the Zootopia fanfic community, isn't it?
yeah. And I think one of the reason why there's no much I call this it's not very well known. It's because this has only been the work of only one author. So I think
Oh,
that's also one of the reasons, because there are lots of fan creators who do a lot of comics, who do a lot of drawings, stories, but this one person only did this work. So yeah, I think that's the main reason why it's different, because this is
okay,
only their only creation.
okay,
You can
okay,
find it both in fanfiction.com and in AO3.
okay. So reading the synopsis by Amex,
Yes.
AEMX, X, begins with an expanded peek at Nick Wilde's academy training, graduation, and first day as a cop with Judy Hopps, then follows the life of Nick and Judy and their budding friendship that becomes more than either imagined. There will be crimes, life on the beat, slices of life slash fluff, and bigger cases that will test both of their skills as individuals and partners. Rated fiction M. Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and if you start, well, in if you also read the summary in Archive of Our Own, it says there that it will include also deleted concepts, lore, or information that has already been released in various materials related to the movie.
Okay. Okay. So it touches on some of the shock colored stories?
Yes, that, and also it has nods to characters from the, remember the one app, the little video, not video game, but yeah, it's an app game that it was released just
Oh,
after
yeah.
the Crime
Crime Files.
Files. Yes,
Crime
it also
Files. Yeah.
includes nods to the characters that are seen in that game.
Like Detective Oates, the
Yes.
horse.
Yeah, he's briefly mentioned at one of the latest chapters, but yeah, he is mentioned, and obviously, as like in the Crime Files game, obviously Judy admires him a lot.
My choice for story is a classic from the early days of the fandom back in 2016. I give you Fallout Zootopia.
Yeah,
So
I
this
do
is
remember that. Yes.
Yeah, so it's a crossover between the world of Fallout and the world of Zootopia, but not in the traditional, like, one character from one universe comes over to the other world and they get into shenanigans type of crossover. This is more setting mixing. You take the two concepts and you mash them together, and something new and original comes out as a result. So, essentially, Fallout Zootopia takes place in a post apocalyptic Zootopia. Post nuclear war, post everything. You've got the standard Fallout tropes like the ghouls and the super mutants and everything of that sort, but it's all got a fun Zootopia twist to it. So, in this case, it follows the story of one Olivia Springs, a rabbit living in Burrow 76. Here's the synopsis. This is the story of survival, both within and without. Deep below the surface, the residents of Burrow 76 have lived without any knowledge of the outside world. Within the burrow, its residents are thriving and all are healthy and safe. Everyone is happy, all but one. This is her story. It's an interesting premise.
Yeah, it's
And
completely different, like mentioned, because it's a crossover technically.
mhm, yeah. And I will say, one of the things that makes it so good in my mind, I mean, don't get me wrong, the story itself is fantastic. I was a huge fan to begin with, and it's got all new characters. Everyone is new and unique, and it takes place several hundred years after the events of Zootopia. So it's very interesting that way. But what really sets it apart in my mind is the audiobook.
I didn't know actually about that. Like I knew there was the story, but I don't remember there it had an audiobook.
Yes. So, person on YouTube by the name of Ink Stained Canvas made this absolutely phenomenal audiobook. He did such a good job, and I am eternally frustrated that he never finished it.
Oh no.
Yeah. He got to chapter, let's see. He got to chapter 36, and then he got busy with work and other life. Unfortunately, the most recent update to the playlist on YouTube was an accidental adding of the Space Marine creation recruitment from Luton '09 from the Warhammer 40K community. So that's not supposed to be on the playlist. So that was clearly an accident.
Oh.
So whoops. But no, he does a fantastic job of bringing all the characters to life, especially Onion, the little floating Eyebot companion of Olivia Springs, who really just brings a bit of good robotic heart to the whole setting, you know? He really helps keep her grounded in an absolutely insane world where there's gangs of like psychopathic flamethrower giraffes and giant mutated bat wolf monsters, and I don't want to spoil it, but Mr. Big is still around in a very twisted form.
Oh.
Mhm. It can get very, very dark. And I really like that sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, Zootopia's a great movie that's fun for all ages, but it touches on some dark themes, and I like it when fanfic authors just explore those a bit, you know?
Mhm.
Especially when you're combining it with a very, very dark setting like Fallout. But they're both also goofy in their own little way, and Cider Stripes, the author of this story, does a phenomenal job of mixing the two, the goofy and the dark.
Yeah, that's a pretty good mix.
Mhm. Yeah. So that's my recommendation for fanfic for anybody new to the fandom who hasn't been around for that long.
Oh,
Now,
we can check it out.
yeah, for sure. And I'll be sure to check out the one you recommended. Now, let's go on to comics. What would you say your favorite comic of all time for this fandom would be?
Hmm. It will be kind of a tough choice because there are lots of very good comics out there. Also, considering the comic dubs, which are also pretty good, there are also very huge talented people among the voice actors who also
Mhm.
portrayed the characters we love from the movie, and they have portrayed them very well. So
Agreed.
combining that with the comic itself, it's a pretty nice piece of art to look and listen at. But it would be it's tough to pick just one. But I think one that really stood out to me a lot was the I don't remember this comic, the Purple Tulips one.
Do you have a link to that?
Yeah, it was made, well, person from the fandom we know, Weaver.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Weaver.
Like Weaver's very
Wait,
much known
T
for
TG Weaver or the
Sundrance.
Wyverns
The Wyvern's
Wyverns Weaver?
Weaver. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, no, I'm still friends with him. He's
Yeah.
cool. We did an
Yeah.
interview with him a while back. Go check that under the video description.
He's very well known for his very huge project Sundrance, which is still being working today, but now with what was it called? I think
A
Rick.
different artist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think it was Rick, but I'm not sure. But we can provide the info also on the
Mhm.
description too. But
Yeah, he's
yeah,
gone on to work on, his own, fantasy series that he did art and world building for and worked with another author on, and called Last Fables. I'm actually in the audiobook for that.
oh, that's pretty good to know.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I
But
also
yeah.
really like Sundrance. I think Sundrance is a very good comic as well to project a much darker version of Zootopia where bunnies are not allowed in the city, where Judy has to go there to represent um, Mr. Ah,
Otterton?
Otterton, yes, to prove his
Mhm.
innocence that he didn't kill his wife. And
Right, she's a lawyer in it, right? Yeah.
exactly. And she is a lawyer. She's not a copier. She's a lawyer. And Nick works for her as her bodyguard. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's a pretty interesting story how they looking out for clues for her to be able to defend her client. And everything
Okay.
that involves Nick's backstory is also very interesting. But I'm a
Yep.
weak. I'm very weak for fluff stuff, and so that's
Mhm.
why I chose Purple Tulips because it takes place on Valentine's Day, and well, I think you can a little bit get the idea of what the comic will be about because it's set on Valentine's Day. Like
Mhm.
he Nick tries tells Judy that he is looking forward to tell someone how he feels for her on Valentine's Day, and she kind of gives him advice, but she's kind of obviously upset. How do you call this? Not that exactly. We don't see her jealous, but that yeah, she's upset that maybe that the one who wants to tell his feelings for might not be her. So yeah, that's the kind of like the start
Okay.
of the whole story, and the whole ending. It's very adorable.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, I think I remember that one. Yeah, it is very sweet. It is definitely something to check out if you like fluff.
What will be your favorite comic then?
So, my recommendation is another old one from somebody we interviewed back when we were doing CNN interviews. This one is from the one and only Mr. Mead, and it is nothing less than Judy is Dead.
Oh yeah, that has a lot of angst.
It is so much angst, but it is gorgeous angst. Essentially, Judy is Dead is kind of what it says on the tin. It takes place a good, like, 10-ish years, maybe 15 or 20 years after the events of the movie, where there is a new, rabbit officer joining the ZPD, the second ever rabbit. What's the name? I don't actually know, but she is a hops, and the chief is none other than Nick Wilde, and he is a jaded and cynical, well, chief of police that has seen everything and has lost it all, including, as the title suggests, Judy. It's the story of an emotionally constipated fox coming to terms with his own baggage and issues and learning to trust again, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
Basically, it focuses on his growth and development over time. And unfortunately, because it's so old, one of the only places you can find it is a repost on funnyjunk.com, which I am not happy with. I am not going to let that stand. We're probably going to repost it just so that it does not get lost to the annals of time again. So keep an eye out for that. We might be doing a repost of the entire series just so that it doesn't get lost, you know? Because it is absolutely worth a read. It's kind of long, but you won't feel like it's dragging out at all. I was watching it back when it was coming out week by week, and it was just so good. So much fun.
Yeah.
And Mr. Mead, if you happen to be listening, you kind of just dropped off the internet after that, so if you're listening, we miss you, man. Hope to be in touch at some point. Anyway, that's my recommendation. Now,
Nice.
now then, do you have any recommendations for art?
Too many to mention also,
Oh, yeah. Uh,
because there are
I'll
lots of good drawings out there. But um
so many. I'll give you listeners a little peek behind the curtain. ZNN has what we call our art vault, which is like a big Flickr library, and it has tens of thousands of pieces of fan art stored there. Like, we have so much, and this is one area of the fandom that never slowed down. Like, there is new stuff all the time. It is so cool to see.
yeah, lots of talent.
Absolutely incredible. So, I wouldn't mind if you wanted to make this a top 5 thing.
Okay, then I will have to look through my whole gallery to see which ones I will pick. But I
Okay,
think
so
one
tell you what, how
Mhm.
about this? How about for future episodes, we have a featured piece of art that we discuss for a minute or two at the end of each episode?
Ah, that's a nice idea. Yeah, I'll go
Because
with
there's
that.
so much to cover. We can't really do any of it justice in a single episode, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it will
Alright.
be too much.
Yeah, absolutely. What have you got for us today then?
Well, this piece it's not that well known actually, but I really like because of the brushing, the how it was done. This piece of art. Let me just share it with you so you can check it
Mhm.
out.
Okay.
Like it was done pretty much early on when the movie was released.
Oh, ooh, that is pretty. That is
Yeah,
gorgeous.
yeah, I really like how the it was painted. I don't know, like the movements, the eyes, their expressions, like it's just them. I really like this drawing. It's one of my favorites.
Mhm. Yeah. No, that's a good choice. That is a very good choice.
Yeah, like if they could be transitioned from 3D to 2D, they will look great like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. There are so many amazingly talented artists in this fandom. Like like I said, it is so hard to pin it down. But I think for my choice, I'm gonna have to go with the guy who started it all. I'm gonna have to recommend a piece from Byron Howard,
Oh,
which
okay.
isn't exactly uh like fan art per se, I guess, but I'm gonna do the summer special one that he did.
Ah, yeah,
So,
I do remember that one. Yes.
mhm, yeah, and one of our staff members on here on ZNN actually has a copy of it, like in his room or his apartment place, his house, somewhere. He's got a signed copy,
That's
which is
pretty
super cool.
amazing.
Oh yeah, I am incredibly jealous of him for that because it is such a fun picture. Just everyone just chilling out, having fun, except maybe Finnick, who is in a precarious position.
That's a
Hmm.
very nice choice, especially considering that it was made by Byron Howard, Zootopia's director.
Yep, and Zootopia is his baby. It's his brainchild. Like he he's the one who came up with it and, like, pushed it forward, and yeah, credit where it's due.
Well, we mentioned the comics previously, but we can also mention the comic stuffs.
What did you want to say about that?
Well, like I mentioned previously, there are lots of talented people out there who have given out their voices to give life to these characters from the movie, and a lot of them have really portrayed them very well. And you can help but really feel like they really comprehend the character. Like obviously they're not the originals, but that doesn't matter. They really give out their best to portray them. There are lots of people out there who really have been very creative with their performances, and I think a pair that is very well known, I think it's Mick and Cass. Like they have really done
Yes.
lots of comic dubs, and they have done them pretty well.
Mhm. Oh, more than pretty well. They do a fantastic job. I'm
Yeah,
not sure what's going on with them. I haven't seen them in a little bit, but what they have done has been fantastic. Absolutely stellar. From one voice actor to another, mwah, fantastic. Chef's kiss.
yeah, they have really done well job with the dubs they have voiced, and also another pair that maybe they are not that much mentioned also, but I also really like what have they done with the characters had been Alicia and Peter. They did just a
I
few
actually
comic
haven't heard of
dubs.
them.
They have do few comic dubs, but they also portrayed the characters very well.
Okay. You'll have to send me a link to one of theirs, because that sounds great.
Yeah, like some of the comics that they have dubbed, were actually done by an artist that have moved on from the fandom.
Okay,
It's
that makes
someone
sense.
who really drew them very well, almost in if they were looking at the characters in black and white. But for one reason or another, they left the fandom and they decided to
Oh, this
do
one.
pursue their own stuff. Yeah.
Oh, this one. Yeah, no, I had not seen this comic dub before, but, and yeah, some of Rem 29289's art.
Yeah, back also in the early days, Rem's art was also one of my favorites.
Oh, absolutely agreed. He had a very, like, on model style with the movie, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, I will absolutely have to give this dub a try. Ye
Yeah, they're actually like both all four of them work together in another comic stuff. As in Mick, Cass, Peter, and
Really?
Alicia. They all
And
work
Alyssa. Mhm,
in another stuff. And I think the last part has not been completed yet, but it's still very well done. Like I don't know, you have also seen that comic. It's a
mhm,
comic where the whole Night Howler case, well, in general, Judy and Nick's story is, as you see it, a movie itself,
mhm. Huh, okay.
and they are being portrayed on the big screen by actors.
Oh, okay, so it's a movie about the Night Howler case in universe.
Exactly. And obviously,
Fun.
both Judy and Nick are obviously real life cops, very busy working along, and they obviously know about the whole movie thing. And
Mhm,
sometimes they have little updates on how the movie is going on. And obviously, the actors want to portray them as real as possible.
mhm,
Like this is the comic.
okay.
The comic is made by Robert Fiedler.
Yes, another classic artist. In that case, everybody check these guys out. They come highly recommended.
Yeah, we like to encourage also new artists. So we also looking down at the comments of what most recent works have you been on the lookout this last weeks, last months, so we can also share about them here.
And if you have any recommendations for what we should cover in the future, we would be very happy to hear. We have some plans for the next 3 episodes ish, but like I said in the beginning, we are planning on doing a couple of different discussions and such, and bringing on some guests, and then having a bit of a book club. So if you have recommendations for what sort of art we should check out, any comics, any stories, any other type of art, or fan fictions that you'd like us to read, we will read them. It may take us a bit, but we will get to them, depending on the size, of course. And yeah, we will be checking out the comments and we will be giving them our due diligence. So, thank you again for listening. This has been fun, I think. Yeah?
Yeah, I enjoy myself. I know I need to loosen up a little bit more, but hopefully I will have to work that with time.
Yeah. Well, I do as well. So, thank you all so much for tuning into this first episode of It's Called a Podcast, Sweetheart. And until next time, boom. I just made up that outro on the fly, but
No, it actually was pretty good.
okay.